Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Friday, January 8th at 3:26 a.m. Pacific Standard Time by Zeno Reader. There are 688 headlines from 108 these we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. COVID, Brisbane to enter 3-day lockdown over single infection. Iran's top leader bans corona vaccines from US, Britain. India 96-2 after day 2 of third test, Smith scores century. Trump finally faces reality, amid talk of early ouster. Loeffler concedes to Warnock in Georgia Senate race, we came up slightly short. Man seen during riots inside Capitol fired from job in Maryland. Graham, Trump's actions were problem in Capitol violence. Ken Starr, shame on those suggesting 25th Amendment, Trump impeachment. Mike Pence's daughter reveals she was caught up in riots and defends Zero Capitol Police. Jeffree Star addressed a theory that Kanye West is in the reflection of his sunglasses in an old picture. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. An angry Pence navigates the fallout of his rupture with Trump over election, Capitol riots, USA Today. U.S. foes like China and Iran see opportunity in the chaos of Trump-stoked riot at Capitol, NBC News. South Korean judge orders Japan to compensate comfort women, victims of wartime sexual slavery, CNN. A year after Wuhan, China locks down another city of 11 million people to contain a coronavirus flare-up, CNN. U.S. Capitol Police confirm death of officer after pro-Trump riot, CNN. Dow Jones Futures, stock market rally soars, but flashes warning sign, Tesla unveils much cheaper Model Y, Investors Business Daily. Pfizer study suggests vaccine works against virus variant, the Associated Press. Raging COVID-19 cases are expected to have restrained U.S. labor market in December, Reuters. The pandemic helped reverse Italy's brain drain, but can it last? The New York Times. Chinese bargain hunters pile into stocks blacklisted by Trump, Reuters. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. The Capitol riot crystallized 4 years of American decline. 55 funny and relatable tweets about Peloton. These friends invested their life savings to feed their community. Inside the race to save the only woman on federal death row. 18 dresses that say Bridgerton Regency fashion, but make it 2021. Joaquin Castro, banned Trump's name from ever gracing a federal building. Pfizer study suggests coronavirus vaccine works against variant. Jimmy Kimmel names and shames the Trump supporters who attacked the Capitol. 2020 ties with 2016 as world's hottest year on record. Chris Cuomo shreds Trump White House staff who are now running for the exits. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. FMR officer teams W rapper on mental health song. Teen daughter, boyfriend charged W mom's murder. Woman searches for missing therapy dog. City requiring electric chargers in new parking lots. Crochet kid auctioning mini-me doll for charity. Man dies by suicide outside of City Hall. Hacker stole $2,000 from woman's account. 2021 Alice in Dairyland competition cancelled. Son requesting cards for World War II vet 102nd birthday. Drivers rescued from cars after water main break. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, The New York Times. How the Capitol attack led Democrats to demand Trump's resignation. How a pro-Trump mob stormed Congress. How New York's representatives voted after the Capitol riot. Curators scour Capitol for damage to the building or its art. U.S. sets new death and daily case records. Gabby Giffords, 10 years ago, a gunman tried to silence me. In 177 portraits, an artist's homage to his bits to iMuse. Here are the Trump officials who resigned over the Capitol riot. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick dies from injuries in pro-Trump riot. We need a second Great Migration. The following headlines are from the sixth most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. Alright, senior lead CU to 79-72 win over number 17 Oregon. Xena vs. Hercules, TV stars Twitter feud over Capitol protests draws social media reaction. Pennsylvania teacher suspended, others lose jobs over Capitol riot. Janice Dean, COVID and Cuomo, governor decides to skip Bills playoff game after being shamed. Cancer patient opens fire inside New York City Sloan Kettering Hospital, arrested. Boston bomber suing government over confiscation of ball cap, limits on showers. Trump calls for healing, smooth transition after heinous attack on Capitol. Audrey Hepburn's sad childhood revealed in Doc. It was one of the traumas that left a very deep mark on me. Greg Jarrett, Pelosi and Schumer wrong to claim Trump can be removed with 25th Amendment. These were 2020's most popular dog names. You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Friday, January 8th. The next headlines are from the 7th most popular news website, with 63 million estimated monthly unique visitors, CBS News. We're probably not alone. Harvard astronomer believes alien debris passed Earth in 2017. NYPD investigating video appearing to show officer with neon man's neck during arrest. NFL wildcard playoffs AFC picks, Steelers to win this rather impressively, says CBS Pittsburgh's Bob Pompini. Michael Chiklis on season 1 of CBS All Access Coyote, I mean it's extraordinary. Tough as Nails season 2 premieres February 10th, meet the crew. The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. Going snow where? Gridlock drivers are trapped on blizzard hit A1. Coronavirus UK, 70,000 people developing COVID-19 every day in the UK, app estimates. Doctors can switch off brain-damaged 5-year-old Pippinite's life support. RAF veteran, 99, is still waiting for vaccine appointment a month after scheme began. Psychic who predicts the future using asparagus claims 2021 will see 2 royal divorces. Are police taking COVID crackdown too far? 100,000 Brits abroad have 5 days to get home or face being banned without negative COVID test. Criminal barrister, 27, says she earns less than minimum wage working 19-hour days. Fluffy pancakes and banana bread are BBC Food's most popular recipes as Britons take up baking. British couple who tried to sneak woman into their luxury Barbados hotel room are fined. The following headlines are from the 9th most popular news website, with an estimated 47 million monthly unique visitors, The Washington Post. This is The Washington Post World News Feed. Why the search for the real origin of the coronavirus is a global concern. Chinese censorship invades the US via WeChat. Australia sweltered through its 4th hottest year in 2020. Brazil enjoys fun in the sun as COVID-19 deaths top 200,000. Indonesian cleric who inspired extremists freed from prison. U.S. allies react in horror to Capitol assault, hold Trump responsible. Neil Sheehan, Pentagon Papers reporter, Vietnam author, dies. Food song, Chinese panist who bridged East and West, dies at 86 of COVID-19. Japan declares state of emergency in Tokyo, paying price for coronavirus complacency. The end of the road for American exceptionalism. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's U.S. news feed. Coronavirus will hive news. Poorest countries to get vaccine in weeks, says WHO. Brazil deaths past 200,000. Trump finally acknowledges new administration and urges end to violence that he incited. Live. Congress certifies Joe Biden as president hours after storming of Capitol. Police to interview woman who falsely accused black musician's son of theft. The U.S. lost control. America records its most ever COVID-19 deaths in a day. U.S. fines Boeing $2.5 billion following fraud charges tied to 737 MAX crashes. Biden introduces Merrick Garland as Attorney General. Pick, your loyalty is not to me. We must impeach Trump and bar him from holding office again. Now Corey Brett Schneider. Anger and incredulity at police failure to defend the Capitol from Trump mob. Arizona becomes COVID hotspot of the world as governor resists restrictions. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. Twitter, Facebook temporarily muzzle Trump after DC violence. Elaine Chao becomes first Trump cabinet member to resign because of Capitol storming. They desecrated the center of American government, Michelle Obama. World shares up on stimulus hopes as Congress okays Biden win. Beyond DC, protests rock California, Utah, Michigan and more. Didn't get your relief payment yet? You aren't alone. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Capitol riot, Trump commits to orderly transition of power. Abu Bakr Basair, Bali bombing mastermind released early from jail. Capitol riot, Democrats seek Trump's removal from office. U.S. Capitol riot, it was like a zombie movie. Why I quit my job after my home burned down. Boeing to pay $2.5 billion over 737 MAX conspiracy. Marion Ramsey, Police Academy and Broadway star dies at 73. Capitol riots, questions mount over security failure. My new life with a stranger's face. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. We feared for our safety, after Capitol riots, Black, Latino Americans worry about more violence in D.C. Violent breach at Capitol triggers D.C. uncertainty. D.C. riots live updates, Capitol Police Chief resigns, growing calls to remove Trump, search underway for rioters. This was really big, far-right extremist groups used Capitol attack to recruit new members. Department of Justice, Boeing fined $2.5 billion, charged with fraud conspiracy over 737 MAX aircraft. It needed to happen. Trump supporters defiant after Capitol attack, plan to do it again for Biden's inauguration. 3 people died from medical emergencies on Capitol grounds Wednesday. Who were they? AP top stories January 7th p. Georgia Democrats react to election, unrest. Capitol Police rejected federal help to quell mob. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. California okays expansion of who can get COVID-19 vaccine to avoid doses going to waste. Gimme shelter, what changes to expect in California housing in 2021. LA using coronavirus test that FDA warns may produce false negatives. Californians shouldn't travel more than 120 miles from home, state says. California suspends payment on 1.4 million unemployment claims while searching for fraud. Downtown developer will pay $1.2 million in LA City Hall corruption case. The powerful synthetic opioid fentanyl is behind rising deaths in the homeless population. George Floyd billboard, rejected elsewhere for violence, rises in West Hollywood. Column, Trump supporters are standing by their man, nothing's changed for me. The virus is out of control, 1 in 5 coronavirus tests are positive in LA County. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Friday, January 8th, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More, from other news sources, is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. The Proud Boys must be named a terrorist group, says Canadian Social Democratic leader Jagmeet Singh. Study finds that 4-month-old ravens are as intelligent as adult apes. Plastic garbage clogging Serbian dam threatens hydroelectric plant. Israel will vaccinate all citizens over 16 by March, Israeli PM said. Mexican president says Biden told him Mexico handling pandemic better than U.S. Amazon rainforest will collapse by 2064, new study predicts. Trump was completely wrong to encourage supporters to storm Capitol, Boris Johnson says. WhatsApp introduces new privacy policy, will share your data with Facebook. The earth has been spinning faster lately. Trudeau says Canadians deeply disturbed by violence in Washington, D.C. Carrying death sentence if convicted. Iraq issues arrest warrant for Trump on murder charges. The U.S. president is now wanted by law enforcement in the Middle East nation for ordering the assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani and Iraqi commander Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis. Iraq court issues arrest warrant against Trump for murder. Women turn to alcohol more often than men in the first lockdown. China locks down 11 million people in Xinjiang in latest COVID fight. Jailed Hong Kong activist Joshua Wong questioned without a lawyer after being arrested under national security law. The next headlines are from Forbes. SBA issues new and much anticipated PPP regulations. Lionel Messi isn't leaving Barcelona for MLS anytime soon. Boeing addresses 737 MAX issues but program may never make up for damages. Trump finally, 2 months after election loss, concedes defeat. Simon & Schuster cancels Senator Josh Hawley's book after riots. Federal prosecutors investigating Trump's role in inciting Capitol attack. Capitol Police Chief resigns over pro-Trump riots. Roku shares soar 10.6% on upgrade, higher user numbers. Kyrie Irving missing Sixers game for personal reasons. Kevin Durant could return Sunday for Nets. Boeing to pay $2.5 billion for misleading U.S. government about 737 MAX. The next headlines are from Nature.com. COVID research updates. Evidence grows of a new coronavirus variant's swift spread. Could new COVID variants undermine vaccines? Labs scramble to find out. Active retirement keeps me involved in science and helps others. Brain maps show how empathetic mice feel each other's pain. The world population update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,677,958,840 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. Rappers Lil Wayne, Kodak Black in line for President Trump's pardons. President Trump calls for orderly transition after Capitol riot. How Parenthood allowed Sienna Miller to bring Wanda Darkly to life. Hip-hop heavy Mike Dean looks future forward with solo projects, reveals surprising past with Selena Quintanilla. New Sports Nation to debut exclusively on ESPN+, TV News Roundup. Mean Girls won't reopen on Broadway due to the pandemic. Nickelodeon greenlights second season of Unfiltered, extends run for Side Hustle. Oscars predictions, Best International Feature, another round out front with required viewing list going to voters. How a podcast revisits milestones of Asian American representation in the Star Trek universe. Ellen DeGeneres show to resume production in studio next week. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. Boeing to pay $2.5 billion over 737 MAX fraud, faces no other charges. Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo is Biden's Commerce Secretary pick. Protests in white and black, and the different response of law enforcement. It's just a shame, Trump voters react to insurrection at U.S. Capitol. How the storming of the Capitol was, and wasn't, about police. Top Capitol security officials resign after insurrection under pressure from lawmakers. How to talk to kids about the riots at the U.S. Capitol. Law enforcement and social media identifying U.S. Capitol mob members. What happened yesterday is textbook terrorism, D.C. mayor says. Biden taps Boston Mayor Marty Walsh as labor secretary. The following headlines are from the week. Trump acknowledges a new administration will soon be sworn in. Union, Capitol Police officer died from a stroke following riot. Capitol Police chief resigns following criticism for response to pro-Trump mob. White House condemns Capitol siege in brief statement that doesn't mention Trump. Pence reportedly expected to attend the inauguration as Trump potentially leaves for Mar-a-Lago. The Daily Gossip, Selena Gomez has had enough, Karlie Kloss tried, and more. Trump is reportedly polling aides on whether he should pardon himself. Biden, Black Lives Matter protesters would have been treated very differently than Capitol domestic terrorists. The week's good news, January 7, 2021. What Joe Biden can learn from Ulysses S. Grant. The following headlines are from the Texas Observer. Editorial, look down ballot for Democratic wins in Texas. The next headlines are from Universe Today. Beyond Fermi's Paradox V, what is the dark forest hypothesis? New observations agree that the universe is 13.77 billion years old. Big news for SpaceX, static fire today, hot test this weekend. There should be a few supernovae in the Milky Way every century, but we've only seen 5 in the last 1,000 years. Why? These are the news headlines for today, Friday, January 8th. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. Watch for Venus, Antares and the Moon before sunup January 9th, 10th and 11th. Is a solar flare the same thing as a CME? Ancient Mayan civilization used advanced water treatment technology. Star trails over a tree-lined path. See a faint star cluster near bright Sirius. The next news is from Politico. Rioters halt Electoral College certification. European far-right decries U.S. violence but sees Trump as victim of ridiculous fanatics. Capitol riot forces UK Tories to ditch Trump. Inauguration planners reassessing security after Capitol siege. Trump condemns violence in Capitol riots, more than 24 hours later. Trump's grip on GOP grassroots holds fast. Coons calls on Cruz and Hawley to resign. Hashtags come to life, how online extremists fueled Wednesday's Capitol Hill insurrection. Justice Department warns of national security fallout from Capitol Hill insurrection. Simon & Schuster cancels Josh Hawley's book, citing Capitol riots. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. Coronavirus updates live, Greater Brisbane to enter lockdown as NSW records 4 local COVID-19 cases, Pfizer vaccine rollout slated for February. 6 overseas travelers in NSW have tested positive for UK strain, 4 have South African strain. Fear and COVID on the WA campaign trail. Australia v India third test live updates, day 2 from the SCG. Money Men, the most exciting test eye of the past 6 decades. Trump calls for reconciliation, acknowledges Joe Biden victory. Capitol Hill riots live updates, Donald Trump condemns riots, concedes defeat to Joe Biden for first time in video statement. Highly contagious virus strain likely widespread in U.S., CDC. All states and territories to test hotel quarantine staff daily. Greater Brisbane lockdown, what you need to know. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. Capitol Police Chief resigns after siege, reports of officer's death inaccurate. The Moneyest, my wife found a half-brother through Ancestry.com. Are we morally or ethically obligated to share her father's estate? The Moneyest, my sister became my father's power of attorney, took out a reverse mortgage, and drained his equity. What can I do? Trump returns to Twitter, condemns attack on Capitol, finally acknowledges election loss. The Wall Street Journal, extremists posted plans on social media for Capitol attack to block certification of Biden election. Simon & Schuster cancels upcoming book by Senator Josh Hawley after Capitol siege. Personal Finance Daily, Democratic-controlled Senate could reinstate extra $600 weekly unemployment, and federal regulators want to overhaul home appraisals. Here's how that could hurt both buyers and sellers. Earnings results, Micron stock rises after earnings, outlook easily exceed expectations. Brett Aarons is raw, the surprising state is now a #1 retirement destination. Sarepta stock plunges more than 50% after mixed results from drug study. Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. The Federal Circuit's Ball Metal decision raises important considerations for pharma and biologics patents, J.D. Supra. Flying high, patents in the aerospace industry, Lixology. IP protection strategies for SMBs, Business.com. Patenting the 3D bioprinting innovations that combat COVID-19, medical design and outsourcing. Form 8K Oxford Immunitech Global 4, January 7th Street Insider.com. Fowler vs. Controller General of Patents, Design, and Trademarks, Intellectual Property, India, Mondak News Alerts. Global Warming Solutions update on patent application for production of hydrogen and electric energy during movement of vehicle, Yahoo Finance. Elida.net incorporates 11 million potential customers in Emirates after signing its agreement with Emirates Post, PR Newswire. Clarifying the patentability of cryptocurrency inventions for jurisdictions, Lixology. Connected and autonomous vehicles, protecting data and machine learning innovations, Lixology. The next headlines are from Quartz. Tesla founder Elon Musk surpasses Jeff Bezos as world's richest human. Fortnite's parent company is turning a North Carolina mall into its headquarters. Decoding the flags and banners seen at the Capitol Hill insurrection. QAnon and the storm of the U.S. Capitol, the offline effect of online conspiracy theories. There will never be another Facebook post from Donald Trump as U.S. president. Even Trump's near concession is a lesson in fascism. Why the U.S. stock market didn't flinch when a mob stormed the Capitol. Why you cannot compare the storming of the U.S. Capitol and Hong Kong's legislature. Trump concedes at last, sort of, through someone else's Twitter. What China is saying about the pro-Trump insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. The following headlines are from Tech Dirt. Copyright troll Richard Leibovitz helps protect free speech and fair use by losing yet another case. Politics is not a game. Wednesday, January 6th, the day the game of politics turned into insurrection. Daily Deal, the Build a Strategy game development bundle. Going dark, cops grab vehicle data to identify a murder suspect. AT&T is restoring its BS broadband caps because apparently the COVID crisis is over. Appeals court, just because someone used an email account to send threats doesn't make it an interstate crime. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. Pieces of a woman. Stella Tennant. Peyton Pritchard. Marty Walsh. Seth Curry. Knicks. Chris Malone. Francisco Lindor. Rush Limbaugh. Warriors. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. Trump denounces heinous attack on U.S. Capitol, says he is fully committed to smooth and orderly transition, video. U.S. Capitol Police Chief resigns as force refutes reports its officer died of events stemming from riot. Trump White House disavows violent rioters at U.S. Capitol, says it's time to unite under Biden. Trump campaign lawyer disavows factually based election fraud case, says it's being used for repugnant actions. Mainstream journalist sets off alarm bells as he calls for cleansing of Trump supporters. Capitol rioters may be charged with sedition and insurrection, all options on the table, says Justice Department. Boeing agrees to pay $2.5 billion fine facing fraud conspiracy charges over 737 MAX crashes that killed 346 people. Twitch follows Facebook, bans Donald Trump to protect our community. Shopify also bans affiliated stores. Enjoy the buffet. Big girl, football coach fired for attack on politician Stacey Abrams amid crucial Senate vote in U.S. election. Don't dare call them protesters. Biden brands Capitol rioters domestic terrorists inspired by Trump's contempt for law. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. Peter Schiff, Congress is the real threat, not protests. Capitol Police Chief resigns amid torrent of criticism, reports of officer's death. Kamala Harris called riots a movement last summer, said they should not stop. We'll see you in court, Senator Josh Hawley blasts Orwellian Simon & Schuster over cancelled book. Trump tweets for the first time since suspension, says new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. Chicago schools chief, half of teachers pressured by teachers union didn't show up for work. A bizarre discrepancy is blowing up the trade data between US and China. Matt Gaetz destroys Democrats' hypocrisy on contesting elections and violence. Fed returns $42 billion to Treasury for terminated emergency programs. Why was founder of far-left BLM group filming inside Capitol as police shot protester? The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. Indonesian hardline scholar Abu Bakar Bashir freed from prison. Trump vows smooth transfer of power after Capitol riot. Donald Trump acknowledges Biden election win, full transcript. Top Democrats in U.S. Congress seek Trump's removal after riot. One day after Trump praise, White House condemns Capitol mob. Biden, Harris, activists blast double standard in police response. U.S. stocks soar on bets of Biden-era calm, boosted stimulus. Search for answers continues 1 year after Iran plane crash. Boeing to pay $2.5 billion to resolve 737 MAX criminal probe in U.S. Trump administration officials mull broader China investment ban. The next headlines are from Breitbart. Thomas Massie, several of us were glad to be armed while barricaded. Donald Trump announces plan for smooth transition of power to Joe Biden. Gillibrand, white Capitol rioters exposed institutional racism in policing, black protesters would have been shot. Twitch suspends Donald Trump's account indefinitely. Nearly 23 million firearms sold during 2020. Federal judge refuses to block oil drilling leases in the Arctic, Trump plan to proceed. Hogan, we were repeatedly denied approval to send National Guard to Capitol. Big business lobby condemns U.S. Capitol protests as unconscionable. Ajit Pai kills effort to stop big tech censorship, want to second-guess Trump ban. Kayleigh McEnany condemns violent rioters for undermining legitimate Trump protesters. The next headlines are from UPI News. Woman's winning lottery ticket almost ended up in a Christmas card. Socialite says he bought out entire flight to travel privately. David Hasselhoff auctioning off kit car from Knight Rider. Watch, leopard wanders hallway of medical college in India. No Pants subway ride cancelled for 2021 due to COVID-19. Maryland man 57-pound flathead catfish breaks state record. Look, Arizona troopers lasso loose pig next to highway. Watch, Tennessee restaurant assembles 1,120-pound spam musubi. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. Charity staff of St. Vincent de Paul marshals a funeral for 82-year-old who died alone on city streets. New study shows spending a long time on your phone isn't bad for your mental health. This film festival is looking for a person to spend 7 days alone watching movies in a remote lighthouse. New species, devil-eyed frog, and satyr butterfly not seen for a century found in forests 30 miles from the capital. Plastic straws and single-use bags vanish from China as ban kicks in. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Friday, January 8th. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. Man in Capitol mob fired after wearing his company ID badge to riot. Off the beat, man jailed after snoring loudly at McDonald's. Groom runs away from his wedding while bride ties knot with a guest. California may have paid Florida, other out-of-state inmates job benefits. Do you have $79,000 and B, want to own a library? The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. Trump banned indefinitely from Facebook and Instagram. Need a 2021 work resolution? Procrastinate more. Twitch's PogChamp ban highlights the platform's growing role in politics. German say ja to F in 2020. Drive more leads and increase sales with the help of this 7-course training bundle. For the first time, a key building block for life was found in an asteroid. Android Auto 6.0 is coming, here's what to expect. Kiss me, Samsung, all remotes should be solar-powered. Thermal cameras tracked hamburgers on bikes in 2020, here's what they found. Snapchat joins Twitter and Facebook in blocking Trump's account amidst Capitol violence. The following headlines are from Science Daily. Insights into the Yellowstone hotspot. Mysterious family life of notorious saber-toothed tiger. Research confirms increase in river flooding and droughts in U.S., Canada. Functional seizures associated with stroke, psychiatric disorders. Emotionally appealing ads may not always help consumer memory. What is surgical smoke and what can be done about it? Chemists invent shape-shifting nanomaterial with biomedical potential. MRI frequently underestimates tumor size in prostate cancer. Striped or spotted, winds and jet streams found on the closest brown dwarf. COVID-19 outcomes for patients on immunosuppressive drugs on par with non-immunosuppressed patients, study finds. The next headlines are from Information Week. 4 ways to overcome AI obstacles. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Friday, January 8th from over 100 sources to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from NASA News. NASA, NSF sign agreement to advance space, Earth, biological, physical sciences. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. Trump concedes as some call for his ouster. The Utah Jazz have a history of slow starts to the season, and they're at it again this year. Nearly 1,000 Utahns have received both shots of the COVID-19 vaccine, but many doses have yet to be given out. Best of Utah Gym Meet features 4 programs itching to get back on the floor after last season was shortened. COVID-19 infections are rising in Utah, as state reports 12 new deaths plus 17 newly counted ones. As Utah's jobless numbers rise, most unemployed workers can expect to see that extra $300 stipend soon. Utah Politics Podcast, previewing the 2021 Utah Legislature. Bagley Cartoon, Mad Hatters. MLS to take over sale process of RSL on Friday. The day after, Utah's members of Congress talk about Capitol violence, blame and solutions. The next headlines are from Slashdot, Tech News for Nerds. BBVA says that it is shutting down banking app Simple, will transfer users to BBVA USA. Facebook removes likes from public pages. Frontier agrees to fiber network expansion in plan to exit bankruptcy. Japan's NetCorp says new facial recognition system isn't stopped by masks. Shopify removes Trump stores, citing president support for violence. Apple's self-driving electric car is at least half a decade away. Microsoft tried to buy Nintendo, but got laughed out of the room. The world's cryptocurrency is now worth more than $1 trillion. Sony TVs get brighter ALD, cognitive processing, Google TV streaming in 2021. Chinese search giant Baidu to make electric cars. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. U.S. Capitol Police say reports of officer death not accurate. Legislators voice their concerns for safety at Missouri's Capitol after D.C. riots. President Trump releases new video condemning violence, commits to peaceful transfer of power. New Branson Duck Tour plan to open spring 2021 despite 2017 tragedy. Simon & Schuster cancels publication of Senator Josh Hawley's upcoming book. Woman fatally shot at Capitol echoed Trump on social media, touted conspiracy theories. Following Capitol Hill riots, Hawley unapologetic for Electoral College challenge. John Danforth, supporting Josh Hawley worst mistake I ever made in my life. Raging Rivers at Sea Lions show as River Road businesses prepare for hopeful summer. Fauci strikes hopeful tone in speech to Washington University School of Medicine. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. Second vaccine doses being delivered as rollout continues in county. North County massage therapist arrested for alleged sexual battery. Drug smuggling drones soaring over border into residential neighborhoods, agents say. Tijuana's restaurant bars ordered to shut down as pandemic drags on. Chief of U.S. Capitol Police to resign after pro-Trump riots. San Diego woman fatally shot at Capitol echoed Trump on social media. Biden, BLM protesters would have been treated very differently than Capitol rioters. Motorcyclist, 19, dies in La Jolla crash. The next headlines are from SpookNews.com. As Biden enters White House, did Israel's Mossad win war with Iran? Landlord used hidden cameras to spy on at least 13 tenants, charges say. New Chrome feature will guard your privacy, even with incognito mode turned off. Man accused of helping Saudi Arabia spy on critics seeks dismissal of charges. Strictly legal, nursing home resident can set up hidden video camera. The following headlines are from Defense Blog. U.S. military converts C-17 transport aircraft into mobile vaccination clinic. Milram Robotics shows first ever footage of its Type X robotic combat vehicle. India 2x56 C-295 transport aircraft in $2.5 billion contract. U.S. Army plans to digitize its Stryker Brigade combat teams. U.S. Marine Corps began fielding suppressors to infantry, special operations units. U.S. Navy awards contract to Wärtsilä Defense for submarine propeller systems. Raytheon gets $34 million contract for advanced electronic attack system. The next headlines are from SupChina, top news about China. Acclaimed Chinese director Chen Cage threatens to sue critics, again. Asia-Pacific Economic Explainer, how the China-friendly RCEP arose after the U.S. abandoned TPP. This is the No Views, Daily Automated Podcast News. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Friday, January 8, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. COVID fueling higher crime rates in East Bay after thousands of inmates released from jails. Video, Trump condemns Capitol riot, concedes to Biden. You aren't alone if you haven't gotten your second relief payment. Pence expected to attend Biden inauguration. San Jose Kaiser faces $43,000 fine following COVID outbreak response. DMV extends suspension on some services. I heard for our country, Michelle Obama addresses U.S. Capitol riots. Woman violently attacked, puppy stolen at gunpoint in San Francisco. Press Sec. Kayleigh McEnany condemns violent rioters at U.S. Capitol. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. Carter leads number 14 Mississippi State women past Gators. Number 19 Indiana women beat Penn State behind Holmes, Patburg. Rams not naming starting QB for playoff showdown in Seattle. What to know about Phase 1B COVID-19 vaccinations. Inverness, Roselle men among those arrested after Capitol riot. Trump concedes in video, this moment calls for healing and reconciliation. How Capitol riots brought high school history curricula to life. Psychologist offers tips to help you, your kids cope with Capitol attacks. It was harrowing, U.S. Rep Schneider on taking cover as mob stormed U.S. Capitol. More demand at Congresswoman who cited Hitler resign. The following headlines are from Seattle PI. Trump supporters break through Washington governor's grounds as others storm U.S. Capitol. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Drought is ongoing in Madagascar. Drought is ongoing in Algeria, Spain, Morocco. Drought is ongoing in China, India, Nepal, Pakistan. Drought is ongoing in Mexico, United States. Drought is ongoing in Peru. Drought is ongoing in Georgia, Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine. Drought is ongoing in Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Peru, Paraguay, Uruguay. Drought is ongoing in Argentina. Drought is ongoing in Armenia, Azerbaijan, Iran, Lebanon, Syria, Turkey. Drought is ongoing in Argentina, Chile. You are hearing the No Views, Daily Automated Podcast News. Today is Friday, January 8th in the Greenwich Mean Time time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from Cypher Brief Security News and High-Level Analysis. Special Report, Attack on Democracy. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Snow could mix in with rain coming into parts of southeast Texas. Houston Congresswoman introduces articles of impeachment against Trump. Innocent woman killed and baby critically injured in head-on crash involving possible drunk driver in the Highlands. Former New Caney ISD superintendent accused of stealing at least $30,000 from district. About 200,000 COVID-19 vaccine doses will be shipped next week to Texas. U.S. Capitol Police officer dies from injuries sustained during riots, officials say. Rapper Dababy arrested in Beverly Hills for alleged firearm possession. SoCal woman who confronted black teen over phone in NYC in custody. U.S. Capitol has had violent incidents in the past, a historical review. Capitol Police officer dies from injuries sustained during riots, officials say. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. Effort in Arkansas to enact hate crimes law in jeopardy. Swedish Prime Minister defends Christmas shopping mall trip. PM says Greece will ramp up speed of COVID-19 vaccinations. Indonesia's top Islamic body okay's China Sinovac vaccine. Israel postpones Netanyahu's trial amid virus lockdown. EU doubles COVID-19 vaccine order with Pfizer BioNTech. Exclamation point, fluoriding is the new surfing for indoor adventure seekers. Titans to honor officers who responded to Christmas bombing. France's hopes lift as U.S. freezes tariffs over tech tax. Angie Thomas Writer's Scholarship to be awarded for second time. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. Extra, some brands no longer want to work with Austin icon Hillary Baldwin. Schumer, Pelosi threatened to impeach Trump if cabinet and Pence fail to act. Trump forever, costumed Capitol rioter is son of Brooklyn Supreme Court judge. Coronavirus statistics, tracking the epidemic in New York. COVID-19 is battering the Bronx, where some residents still resist wearing masks. Pro-Trump activist charged with making terroristic threats in bomb hoax at Queens Mall. NY's Democratic legislature eyes ambitious 2021 agenda. I want this to be a legendary session. Northwell Health promises to stop suing patients over unpaid medical bills during pandemic. Early edition, pro-Trump rioters have lost their bar cart privileges for the flight home. Coronavirus updates, de Blasio intensifies call for Cuomo to allow more vaccinations. The next headlines are from Observer.com. 10 productive ways to fight boredom during and after quarantine. NASA gears up for final test before our first Artemis moon mission in 2021. CBD reviews, 10 CBD oils and tinctures for sale that you need. Elon Musk blames Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg for Capitol riot. Loki showrunner Will Wright Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie for Lucasfilm. 6,500 silver coins centuries old have been uncovered in a Polish village. Facebook suspends Donald Trump indefinitely after president incited riots in Capitol. Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick sell West Village townhouse for $15 million. Bridgerton cast theorize about what's to come in season 2. 10 totally free reverse phone lookup with name, no charge. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. Next, info on a few earthquakes today from earthquaketoday.com. Minor earthquake, 3.32 mag was detected near Boca de Yuma in Dominican Republic. Minor earthquake, 3.86 mag strikes near Cruz Bay in U.S. Virgin Islands. Moderate earthquake, 5.2 mag was detected near South Sandwich Islands region. Minor earthquake, and 3.79 quake has struck near Cruz Bay in U.S. Virgin Islands. Minor earthquake, 3.42 mag was detected near Sierras in Puerto Rico. Light earthquake, 4.3 mag strikes near Ata Station in Alaska. Light earthquake, 4 mag strikes near Hisame Tamachi in Japan. Light earthquake, 4.3 mag strikes near Vanuatu region. Light earthquake, 4.4 mag has occurred near Port Vila in Vanuatu. Light earthquake, 4.4 mag strikes near Port Vila in Vanuatu. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. Was it a coup? No, but siege on U.S. Capitol was the election violence of a fragile democracy. Shifting conversations in multifaceted policy making. If COVID-19 is primarily a first world virus, why is the global south in lockdown? Is the COVID-19 vaccine a potential biological weapon in reverse? The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. MSM already using Capitol Hill riot to call for more internet censorship. Facebook bans Trump from posting for remainder of his term in office. Shopify terminates Trump-related e-commerce sites in response to riots. Leading virologist says coronavirus pandemic is the greatest hoax ever perpetrated on an unsuspecting public. Trump concedes. Shock, new footage emerges of Capitol Police shooting Air Force vet Ashley Babbitt at point blank. Study, Bill Gates' DTP vaccine killed 10 times more African girls than the disease itself. The storming of the Capitol, America's Reichstag fire? The opening act of the new war on domestic terror. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Boston Marathon bomber sues over ball cap, showers in prison. Iraq issues arrest warrant for Trump over Soleimani killing. Capitol Police says officer dies after riots. Conservative media decry Capitol riot, but grievances remain. Education head DeVos quits, cites Trump rhetoric. Publisher drops book by Republican Senator Josh Hawley. Trump finally concedes amid talk of ouster from office. Boeing will pay $2.5 billion to settle charge over 737 MAX. Snopes seeks dismissal of yet another harassing lawsuit. Does photo show 2 women saving electoral votes during Capitol siege? The next headlines are from factcheck.org. Fact-checking the Electoral College debate. Bogus Antifa claims follow Capitol riot. Trump's falsehood fill Save America rally. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. Putin gleeful after Trump stirs violent insurrection. Dickinson Season 2, TV's wildest, weirdest poet is back and better than ever. Now Congress knows what America's terrified kids feel like. This GOP needs a serious dose of truth and reconciliation. King Arthur's Camelot Castle is now ground zero for Brit QAnon. Merrick Garland is the perfect person to clean up Trump's cesspool. Prince Harry and Prince William may be making up, the Queen is rejoicing. Michael Cohen, I am certain that Donald Trump is psychotic right now. Watching Alex Trebek's Last Jeopardy, as America crumbles. MAGA Latino stronghold in Florida is a vaccine dead end. The next headlines are from the New York Post. California teacher accused of having sexual relationship with 15-year-old girl. Yankees Garrett Cole caught up in a lawsuit, sticky situation. Inside look at the Jets' latest head coaching candidates. Steve Nash, Capitol attack puts things in perspective. Cops seek second suspect in murder of Tennessee nurse on her way to work. The following headlines are from astronomy.com. The sky this week. Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury jockey for position. The beginning to the end of the universe. Inflating the universe. The beginning to the end of the universe. It started with a bang. Lonely pair of brown dwarfs found traversing the void together. You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. Sudden stratospheric warming could mean winter storms ahead. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. U.S. Capitol Police deny reports officer died of injuries from pro-Trump insurrection. De Blasio demands state expand NYC vaccine categories today. Arrest via Getty. Clueless Twitter users believe Trump rioter in Getty Images photo is named via Getty. U.S. Capitol Police declined help from FBI. Pentagon ahead of pro-Trump riots. Report. U.S. Capitol Police chief resigns amid outrage over D.C. security lapse. D.C. Police Union slams U.S. Capitol Police leadership as prepared for violent insurrection in manpower and in resources. Trump claims outrage of heinous attack he encouraged against U.S. Capitol, acknowledges Biden will take over. Boston Marathon bomber sues over prison baseball cap swipe. Alex Trebek marks Final Jeopardy episodes with plea for good deeds. U.S. Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund quits after botched handling of violent pro-Trump insurrection. Report. The following headlines are from military.com. Military leaders say tremendous confusion delayed response to Capitol siege. Capitol Police rejected Pentagon offers of help to quell mob. Former White House Chief of Staff John Kelly says Trump has poisoned Americans' minds, needs to go. Officials, attacks around Afghanistan kill at least 23. Boeing will pay $2.5 billion to settle charge over 737 MAX aircraft. What kind of uniform is that? Marines drill for inauguration in unique style. The National Guard is fencing off the U.S. Capitol complex for at least 30 days. I expected this as a Marine in Iraq. Veterans in Congress voice rage after mob storms Capitol. Military officers in Congress join call to invoke 25th Amendment, remove Trump. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. Black Caucus social justice agenda, Speaker Madigan's future top items as Illinois lawmakers return to Springfield. As driver's license offices reopened again, those braving the long lines also had to deal with freezing temps. Column, Trump incited violence in the U.S. Capitol and now some Republicans disavow him? 2 suburban men are arrested and Chicago real estate agent is fired following U.S. Capitol siege. Registered sex offender was allowed to volunteer for ROTC program in CPS, then preyed on female students, new Inspector General's report says. Newly inaugurated Illinois GOP Congresswoman claims she was attacking Democrats inciting Adolf Hitler. Man drove getaway car in killing of 17-year-old who he and Shitteromley thought was rival gang member, prosecutors say. Coronavirus in Illinois updates, state passes 1 million confirmed and probable COVID-19 cases at 8,757 new infections and 177 additional deaths reported. A tragic milestone, Illinois coronavirus case count surges past 1 million. Republican U.S. Rep. Adam Kinzinger calls for 25th Amendment to remove President Trump from office. The following headlines are from phys.org. Engineers find antioxidants improve nanoscale visualization of polymers. New analysis highlights importance of groundwater discharge into oceans. Bats with white nose syndrome prefer suboptimal habitats despite the consequences. 2020 ties 2016 as hottest year on record. Deal reached on project to protect lakes from invasive fish. Australia sweltered through its 4th hottest year in 2020. When salespeople advocate for sellers and customers. Researchers offer approaches for the sustainable expansion of the U.S. seafood industry. New discovery sheds light on the mysterious family life of notorious saber-toothed tiger. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Friday, January 8th, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from Discover magazine. Why insect extinction should bug you. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. World Cup leader Pincher Walt fastest in first giant slalom run. 5 nations want Iran to deliver justice on downed plane. Pakistani court sentences militant leader to 5 years in jail. Villa Liverpool Cup game to go ahead despite virus outbreak. UAE cycling team of Tour champ Pogacar gets COVID-19 vaccine. Cannon reaches third round in Abu Dhabi after Flipkin's injury. Courier Journal stopping Louisville presses permanently. The following headlines are from MercuryNews.com. Word Game, January 8, 2021. Bridge, January 8, 2021. Horoscopes, January 8, 2021. Cynthia Erivo, make physical improvements. Ask Amy, I know a secret about my cousins, and I wish I didn't. Harriet Cole, I found these old photos, and now I'm mortified by how I look. Miss Manners, how do I apologize for an inappropriate wink? Dear Abby, what can I say to a supermarket tailgater? First Asian American Oakland Unified School District Superintendent dies of cancer. The latest, Capitol Police says officer dies after riots. I'm going fast enough, but the other drivers don't think so. Roadshow. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. New Jersey man gets prison for shooting neighbor's dog. European regulator approves drawing 6 doses from each vial of BioNTech Pfizer vaccine, boosting up. No one injured in police shooting in western Pennsylvania. The next headlines are from The Intercept. Republican congressman legitimizes violence as response to election dispute. Some U.S. allies expressed concern about the Capitol insurrection, and others did not. Facebook and Twitter finally do slightly more than literally nothing about Trump. Why I am resigning after stabbing 97 people for Donald Trump. To see police priorities, contrast Capitol mob with J20 and Black Lives Matter protests. Storming of the Capitol was openly planned but ignored by law enforcement. Inside the insurrection. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Friday, January 8, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from Eureka Alert. New statistical method exponentially increases ability to discover genetic insights. Entangling electrons with heat. Initial severity of COVID-19 not associated with later respiratory complications. High-speed atomic force microscopy visualizes cell protein factories. Preserving workers' hearing health by improving earplug efficiency. Examining association of age, household dysfunction, outcomes in early adulthood. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. Gas station, restaurant, robbed at gunpoint in the Via. Male robs Old Norwood Park gas station at gunpoint. Gas station clerk robbed at gunpoint in Irving Park. Man killed in East Garfield Park shooting, police. Woman struck, killed in rollover crash in Chatham, police. Horoscope for Friday, January 8, 2021. Number 12 Illinois rallies past Northwestern with 53-13 edge in second half. 3 arrested after crashing carjacked vehicle on near West Side, police. Midwest Fishing Report, perch and ice fishing access. Chicago area CEO and suburban tattoo artist among those arrested at Capitol. The following headlines are from Riverfront Times St. Louis. The Stellar Hog closes South St. Louis location indefinitely. You can now buy Josh Hawley Sucks t-shirts. 6 Missouri Republicans objected to electoral votes after Capitol attack. St. Louis Carly Kloss on in-laws Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, I've tried. Cori Bush, expel Republican congressman who incited Capitol terror. The next headlines are from Detroit Metro. 12 plus best free adult dating sites 2021, meet local singles in your area. Here are the 3 Michigan Republicans who still voted to overturn election results, despite the attack on the U.S. Capitol. Lying conservative activist who organized trip to Capitol poised to head Michigan Republican Party. You can reserve the entire Cranbrook Art Museum starting this month. The siege at the U.S. Capitol was similar to what happened in Lansing this spring. U.S. Rep. Rashida Tlaib calls for Trump's immediate impeachment for inciting violence at the Capitol, and she's not alone. Michigan Capitol building temporarily closed amid threat. You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Friday, January 8, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Houston Press. Cruz faces fury from Houstonians and Democratic foes after D.C. mob chaos. Openings and closings, Good Vibes Burgers Pearland, Lefty's Cheesesteaks. Rockets will have a long, slow road to improvement. Betting odds on next Houston Texans head coach. Reviews for the uneasily quarantined, one night in Miami. Houston's 5 best weekend food bets, score half-off eats at the new Carinas. Houston's underground music venues are leery about stimulus grants. Local leaders discuss arrival of dangerous COVID-19 strain, vaccine rollout and D.C. riot. Best virtual bets, Big Bens, vaccines, and drowning girls. Bitcoin ATMs are a mixed bag in Houston. The next headlines are about world records making news. Coronavirus live news. US hits global record with 4,000 COVID deaths in 24 hours. EU order 300 more Pfizer jabs. The Guardian. Swimming World presents. Special sets. Top sets fit on Swart's Way. Swimming World magazine. Meet Tresha Kemeny, 5-year-old who set world record in naming countries, flags and capitals. She the people. Two Banbury adventurers break Guinness World Record with longest ever journey by scooter and sidecar. Banbury Guardian. KGF Chapter 2 teaser, world record, YouTube views count, review, reactions, Twitter trend, WhatsApp status, Z Business. Climate change, 2020 in a dead heat for world's warmest year, BBC News. Industrial versus was third test, Rohit Sharma creates world record, becomes first batsman to hit 100 sixes against Australia, Inside Sport. This Mumbai lady cycled 19,000 kilometers and set a Guinness World Record, the bridge. Texas 5A record holder Connor Foot will remain in state with 2022 verbal to Aggies, Swimming World magazine. Man bags Guinness World Record for blowing 783 small bubbles inside a big one. Watch, Republic World. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. FCC chairman quietly abandoned attempt to clarify Section 230. Thankfully, Singapore just made it harder to own 3D printed guns. Shopify boots off Trump organization and campaign stores. Tapjoy settles with FTC after years of cheating mobile gamers. Thanks for the evidence, use it issues dweebs. Researchers take another look at platypus DNA, and yup, still weird. Striking 3D satellite images show shattered iceberg A68A, which still threatens a sensitive island. YouTube says it will temporarily block channels that share election disinformation. A man ate a toothpick and it was stuck in his butt for months. Physicists are looking for dark matter in tiny, ancient black holes. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was Kalamunda in Australia at 107.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 42 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Nera in Russia at minus 59.8 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 51 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. Baby-making machines, Chinese tweet on Uyghurs not against Twitter rules. Anthony Mackie plays an android super soldier in Outside the Wire trailer. SpaceX has launched its 50th previously flown rocket, updated. Boeing charged with fraud over 737 MAX, fined more than $2.5 billion. Elon Musk is the world's richest person. Samsung backtracks on $1,000 Chromebooks with cheaper Galaxy Chromebook 2. Insurrectionists' social media presence gives feds an easy way to ID them. One piece of optical hardware performs massively parallel AI calculations. Nerds is the free, pleasant 6-player card game we could all use right now. How the Trump-incited mob may have caused a COVID superspreader event. The following headlines are from Raw Story. On Parler, the MAGA social media platform, Trump supporters are ready for insurrection. Facial recognition company cited in Antifa plans spread by Trump. World media says entire report is a lie. The growing list of lawmakers and groups supporting Donald Trump's impeachment or 25th Amendment removal. How Republican lawmakers endanger their own colleagues during the Capitol siege. Mitch McConnell warned of a looming death spiral before all hell broke loose on Capitol Hill. Pentagon under fire after memos reveal tight limits on National Guard response to Trump insurrection. Betsy DeVos receives brutal send-off from teachers and her own governor. Trump aides complain their careers are also victims of his failed insurrection, report. Megadonor who bankrolled Josh Hawley calls for Senator to be censured, we owe it to our children. He is Mad King George, GOP laments total monster Trump as he finally concedes his loss. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. Those of us who don't die are going to quit, a crush of patience, dwindling supplies and the nurse who lost hope. Capitol rioters planned for weeks in plain sight, the police weren't ready. At Fox News, it's always about scary threats to white people. How police unions responded to the assault on the Capitol. Biden wants to fight the domestic terrorism, here's how he can do it. Forget social media, Fox News is still the real problem. How would the police have reacted if black people stormed the Capitol? Trump incited domestic terror, now what? Catch our live-for-blog coverage of the insurrection attempt. Only a few congressional Republicans could bring themselves to blame Trump for yesterday's violence. The next items are today's top search results for extraterrestrial life. Mad Minute Stories from Thursday, January 7th, nationalkhq.com, KHQ right now. Harvard astronomer believes alien debris passed Earth in 2017, KCTV Kansas City. How far will our search for aliens go in 2021, Forbes? The following items are today's top search results for the term neuroplasticity. Headspace Guide to Meditation, can Netflix deliver enlightenment in 20 minutes, The Guardian. Researchers aim to improve cognitive performance, mobilize the brain's reserve mechanisms, News Medical Net. The acceleration of Alzheimer's disease drug innovations, Grit Daily. Neuromorphic computing market outlook and opportunities in grooming regions, edition 2021 to 2026 leading players, IBM, Samsung Electronics, Intel Corporation, HRL Laboratories, The Courier. Adderall alternatives, best natural over-the-counter nootropic options, Austin Chronicle. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Friday, January 8, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. Radar and UAPs, a new resource. That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Friday, January 8th, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. True Strange News Fair Use Statement. No Views News is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2020 by No Views News. All rights reserved.